Hi, my name is Julia Lynn, and I'm from Syosset, New York, on Long Island. And yes, I have been to live theater before. I've seen a few shows like Wicked, Matilda, Lion King, and Once on This Island. And a few fun facts about me are that I have two younger brothers. I am a dancer, and I love mac and cheese. Three words to describe my reaction to Hamilton would have to be uplifted, inspired, and intrigued. I would say uplifted because certain songs had very upbeat music, and the expressions from the characters were very fun to watch. Also, I was inspired because since I dance, I was inspired by all the Broadway dancers that were on stage. And I was also intrigued because I'd never really been interested in history, but after watching the film, I thought that Hamilton's story was very interesting, and I wanted to learn more about his life story. One moment that I believe landed more as a moment of live theater than it would have as a Hollywood film was Philip's death. And I think this because I think the lighting and staging made it super dramatic, and I also think it would be more emotional to watch in person. So while I think it was more powerful as a live performance, like a filmed live performance, I think it would be even more powerful as a live performance that an audience could watch sitting right in front of the stage. I think this play was about determination. I think determination was a common theme throughout the play. For example, the lyrics to My Shot, like not throwing away my, not throwing, he said, not, I'm not throwing away my shot. I think that the playmaker wanted to make the audience understand Hamilton's story and the hardships that he overcame to become a founding father. Also, as an audience member, I can attest that the playmakers were successful in achieving their purpose because I was able to empathize with Hamilton and better understand his story as well as the characters. I feel like the ideas discussed with regards to approaching issues of oppression were not new to me since I am a person of color. And in our current situation as a nation with all the current events that have been surrounding our country in the last few years, I think that these conversations about race and oppression have been very prevalent in my education as well as outside of school conversations. So I don't think those ideas were necessarily new to me, but I have learned more from these articles. One statistic that stood out to me was that there were more women involved in costume making rather than set design, which I think is interesting because I was just surprised by that statistic because I never really thought about the amount of women or demographics for people involved in set design. And from the current event articles, I think the We See You White American Theater open letter stood out to me the most because of the commanding language that the actors that wrote it used. I think that they were commanding and let the theater and community know what needed to be done for people of color and providing more representation for audience members who are people of color. Finally, I think that Hamilton is an example of something I learned about with the current events material because through the current events articles, I learned that the difference between colorblind casting and color conscious casting, and I think that the color conscious casting of Hamilton is a very good sign of progress in the theater community. But I do think there's still more work to be done, of course, because the statistics that Professor Elliott showed in class how there were, I think it was a disproportionate number between the percent of white actors versus the percent of non-white actors. So I think that while Hamilton is a sign of progress in the community, there definitely is still more work to be done.